Here we are, week 4 NFL picks and predictions. Welcome back. Nick Algarici here. And we're basically, this is, you could say right here, 25, after this week, 25% of the season is over with because first 4 weeks and 8, 12, whatever you want to do it. But I just call this is the 25% way mark of the regular season after this week. Let's get into it. Last week was wasn't as good as week 2 of the comebacks, but we saw a lot of good games. So here we go. I mean, and another reason why I was full of craziness because I won in the fantasy league by a point and lost by a point. So it is what it is. But I'm 2-1 in one league and 1-2 in the other. At least the league that I won in, I think my team's better in. So at least that's good because, like, I don't know. But here we are. Tomorrow night, Thursday, September 29th, Dolphins-Bengals, Thursday night football. Cincy is 4 at home. Over-under is 47.5. This game's a toss-up. I mean, you could grab the coin and toss it up, and you could say it's tough. It's obviously, I'm gonna say my favorite saying. It could go either way. Whatever the team I'm gonna pick here, I'm not like confident in it. I'm just gonna pick them, but I'm just gonna pick the Bengals because they're home. Even though Miami's good and Tyreek Hill is talking shit on Eli Apple, but one guy doesn't make a team, and we'll talk about that in basically the next game. But yeah, so just the Bengals at home, short week, good game. Give me the Bengals right here. It's gonna be a 3-point win at 27-24. I mean, it shouldn't be anything a blowout. Shouldn't be a 10-point win. It should be a one-possession game. A good game to start the week off. So, give me the Bengals at home on week 4. Then, London. I gotta get up early, but I don't care. It's worth it because I should get a win out of this. Vikings versus Saints, 9:30 a.m. Minnesota is 3, over-under is 43.5. Yeah, the Saints right now, they're just, Pete Prisco's a fool for taking the Saints. I don't understand it. They're banged up over there. Their offense is dysfunctional as hell. I know Minnesota ain't getting out there till tomorrow, but Saints have been out there since Tuesday. But a lot of people are saying that's actually good because, like, the Saints are out there all this time and be like just like tired. You know what I mean? At least Minnesota, like, you're getting an extra 2 days of like home practice, this, that. It could affect them on the sleep schedule, but I don't think the players they give a shit about that. They're gonna go out there. And speaking of the whole one player doesn't make a team, look at the Vikings last week. Dalvin Cook left the game, dislocated his shoulder. He's gonna play this week with we wore it last year. I forget the name of it, but shit. Last year, he had a dislocated shoulder against the Steelers. The motherfucker went off. You know what I mean? He had like 2 touchdowns, 225 yards in scrimmage. And he beat the Steelers. Now, this week, Saints have a better D, but I still think he should do all right, him and Madison. But speaking of the one player that'll make a team, we came back last week in that game with Jefferson having 14 yards, being triple teamed, and Cook hurt. So that tells you how good this Vikings team is. And I keep saying it and saying it. Nobody wants to listen to me. Majority of them are just delusional Eagles fans. That's okay. They gotta have their win because it is what it is. But we're looking good, and I think it's gonna continue here. We know this is a big game because we got the Bears after this at home, so there should be 2 wins. I'm gonna take Vikings 27-17. Should be a nice 10-point win. I think the only lead the Saints might have in the game is like 3-0 or something, or maybe 10-7, something like that, and then Minnesota will just separate themselves. So expect an early morning football game and expect a solid game with a good day and a good offense. Usually in these good D's versus good offenses, usually the good offenses win out, but we don't know. So we'll say. But I expect everybody should expect the Vikings win. Next game, Browns at Falcons. Cleveland's 1.5. Over-under is 49.5. I like Atlanta here because Myles Garrett was just in the hospital. His issues. I don't know if he got in an accident, whatever happened. But like the Browns just like if they had Watson here, no brainer, I'd be picking Cleveland. But Brissett stinks. I'm just looking at it like, it could be a good game. It really could be a good game, but I don't care about it. But both of these teams are non-playoff threats. But Atlanta should win here 27-23. I think both teams will still put up that many points because Atlanta's D just bad, and Cleveland without Garrett, it's going to be tough. You know what I mean? I think Atlanta, what did they win that score last week? They're going to win it again this week. That's my prediction, same score. But, yeah, man, it's just a weird game. You know what I mean? It's just Atlanta, like Mariota. I like him better than Brissett. The running game, I like Patterson. The receivers, I like Cleveland. I mean, Chubb's good. I mean, it's an even-up team, but just Atlanta's home, and I don't know what's going to, convince me to say Cleveland could win that game. If Watson was playing, that's the only way it would probably convince me. But Washington at Dallas. Dallas is 3. I don't expect Dak in this one back. The Commanders stink. It's only 3 because Cooper Rush is quarterback, but I think Dallas wins by 10 here. Wentz is horrible. I'm at 24-14. Just Washington just is. It's just weird, man. They're lucky they got that win at week 1 because they were sloppy in that too. Wentz is horrible, but Dallas will win, and Dallas will move to 3-1. They're looking good in that division right now. They're only a game behind the Eagles, and then when Dak comes back, the Eagles are gonna have to play them twice. Nobody's. Eagles should beat them once, and Dallas should beat them once. Next game, I'm going to throw a little bit of a curveball to everybody here because a lot of people might not think it. Why is he doing this? But after that game last week, I give him a little bit more respect. But I want to take a lock of the week here. I'm going to take the Lions at home over Seattle. I know it's only 4.5, but it's Geno Smith, and it's, Lions are just, if they put up those points against Minnesota and every drive they did, I felt like they did something. What makes you think at home against this horrible team they can't? They're just angry probably about that loss last week. It's just how it is. I'm going to take the Lions here. I'm going to take them in a 23-17 game. It's going to be a 6-point win, but it's not a blowout. I'm just taking a lock that's not an off the charts lock. It's just a game that you're saying, you know what, that's actually a ballsy pick as a lock of the week. So I personally think that that should be a game right here where if Seattle wins, then it's man, the Lions are they really gonna be I don't know how to explain because they're gonna be good in a couple of years, but it's man, they really show that fight and that passion as we think they do. So because Seattle they stink. So it should be a good game though. It's a long one. It should be a good game. Here's a game here where I originally had Tennessee, but I flipped it to Indy because I thought about it and I said, you know what, Indy's home, and then they got to go to Denver on a short week, so I think they're gonna get this win at home. That was fixed last week, I think, against KC. Mahomes out losing to them. But Indy will win here. Tennessee, it's Tennessee's just not the same team. You can just tell they're barely beaten. They barely won, and last week they lost to the Giants and shit. So and Indy could be getting back on track here. 3.5 over under 42.5. I like Indy by a touchdown at 27-20. It's a divisional game. I'm not really excited for it. It's an AFC game. I could care less, but should at least it's 2 decent teams. Not like we're watching 2 garbage teams playing each other in the same division. So at least one of those teams will make it. You know that. So next game, Bears and Giants. I got the Giants here. They're 3 at home. Over under 39.5. Jeez. I'm going to take the Giants 17-13. Just a low-scoring type of game. The Bears are 2-1 and the Giants are 2-1, and 2 teams that you'll look at it at week 16 and be like, remember when they started off hot? They ain't your shit. Both teams should maybe win 5 games at most. 5-6 games at most. But yeah, give me 17-13 Giants. Next game, Jaguars at Eagles. Philly 6.5 over under 47. Eagles should win here, but Jacksonville has been looking all right. I know, Herbert was banged up last week and they beat him, but they haven't been playing too bad. I don't see upset on it, but if Jacksonville gets out to like a 14-3 lead or something like that, then look out. But I think the Eagles win this game, then they go to Arizona next week, and it depends. I think they could lose that, but right now, let's focus on this week. I think the Eagles should win that like 31-20. I think, Doug Peterson's back. If Eagles fans boo him, then they sure. I don't know what to say. I'm gonna try to keep it PG right there. But in my mind, you probably know what I'm thinking. I'll say idiots, but think about what comes before that. So they're just idiots. If you boo a Super Bowl champion winning quarterback or coach, or shit, Wentz, they hate on Wentz. We know he has a ring over there. Think about that. And they'll boo him when he comes to Philly in a couple weeks. But it just you shouldn't be booing a coach. That's like when the Nationals, whenever they let go Martinez, it's probably going to be, obviously not this year because he already picked up his option for next year, but let's say it was a year after that, which I'm not sure. Like if he ever came back, they'd cheer the shit out of him because like he brought you like a title. Like any GM, any player that brought you a ring from that year, you should, unless they're like hurt all year and they dogged it and they didn't care and they just got the ring. Yeah, but like guys are like really, you should never boo him. Me, it's different with Harper because he signed the division and we told him a lesson and won a World Series, and the Phillies are probably finally going to get in the playoffs. But I just read an article where they're going to get in, but they're not winners. So I've been saying that for a long time. All right, back on track. Next game, Jets Steelers. Pitt's 3.5. I think Zach Wilson may play. But I'm going to take the Steelers here. The Jets, I'm going to take Pitt here. 24-17. I think, Pitt, after 2 bad losses, I think they finally get back and they get to 2-2. Next game, Bills at Ravens. Buffalo is 3. Over-under is 51.5. Bills, man, that game last week, the offensive coordinator wasn't too happy. They should have never lost that. But they'll bounce back here. They're just such a good team that they will. Give me the Bills by 5. 26-21. I just think, but Lamar should have a good game running it. But he doesn't have the weapons anymore to, like, tell you. You know what I mean? So if he's still in Hollywood Brown and shit, like, then it'll be probably still Buffalo, but, like, maybe a 1-point game. I'm telling you, that's how good, like, these teams would be. But that could be the game of the week. Could. So, Chargers at Texans. Chargers are 5. They ain't losing 2 in a row like that. They're 1-2. Whatever, they lost 2 in a row, so they ain't gonna lose 3 in a row. So give me the Chargers against Houston. Over under is 44. I think if Herbert's fully healthy, they're gonna put up 30 alone. I'm gonna say 34-10 Chargers. Right at the over under. Chargers get the win. Cardinals, Panthers, Carolina's 1.5. Over under 42.5. I run the 4:00 window now, by the way. I said the Panthers are going to win last week, and I was right. But favor like that, 1-2. Arizona hasn't been playing bad though. It's gonna be a tough game either way. But damn, if Hopkins is here, it'd be a no-brainer for Arizona. It is looking like shit. You know what? It's a really tough game to fucking choose. I really don't know. Nah, I'm just gonna go with Arizona here. It's just I know for a fact when my buddy watches as a Panthers fan, he's gonna say, "Oh, come on!" And as soon as I say, but it's just Arizona is better on paper. I don't know. Mayfield might throw a couple picks, and Kyler Murray, he'll get deflected a lot. He's small. He'll get passes batted down, but just it's gonna be a close game. I could be wrong. I'm most positive I could be wrong on this game. I mean, if it was in Arizona, it'd be different. We got to take upsets. I'm gonna screw around here and take a 24-23 win. Just give me a point win for the Cardinals. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? That's the toughest game of the week, I think, to choose. Next game, Packers Patriots in Green Bay. Mac Jones is out basically. Brian Hoyer, 9.5. Green Bay is over under 40. I think Green Bay wins here 28-13. New England just if Mac Jones is out, well, they're already done as it is, but Hoyer stinks. Maybe they should sign Cam Newton. I'm just saying. So Green Bay wins. Next game, Broncos, Las Vegas Raiders. Las Vegas is 2.5 over under 45. I'm gonna go with the Raiders here. They're overdue. And the Broncos just have been looking like a mess. You know, winning 11-10 and shit, 16-9. You can't really pick them. But I think here it's going to be a 23-16 type of game. You know what I mean? Just with the Raiders winning that. And Sunday Night Football. Chiefs Buccaneers. KC is 1. Over-under 45. So I don't know if it's going to be played in Tampa due to the hurricane. People are saying maybe Miami or maybe even New Orleans. I'm not sure. Or possibly Atlanta. But I like KC here. It's a toss-up too. It's not a close game to choose. But I like KC. Just, Mahomes had that bad loss last week. Bad. I think he knows, but Tampa knows how to play Kansas City, though. It's really that type of game. I think it's going to be 33-28 Chiefs. At least we got an entertaining Sunday night game, not the bullshit like last week we watched. But that's going to be a good game. You have three games of the week candidates. That, Buffalo, and tomorrow night's game. So then we have Monday Night Football. Rams 49ers. San Fran is 1 at home, over under 42. I like the Rams. I just think the Niners just didn't play good at all. I know their defense is good, but the Rams, I think, I know they're on the road, but it's only in California and they have to travel far. Cooper Kupp's just unstoppable right now. That's another thing into it. That's going to be a low-scoring game. I'm going to say 21-17 Rams. I don't really see why the Niners would win. Garoppolo is decent, but I just think the Rams are better. And obviously, anybody should really think that, but that's it. So, yeah, a lot of games this week that are toss-ups. There's a few in there that, like I said, I went no-brainers on. But the lock of the week should be the one people might be questioning me about. I'll be like, it is what Lions, Swift's going to be out, but Jamal Williams is pretty solid. So they should be all right. So that's all I got for our week 4 picks. Enjoy the games. Enjoy getting up early for football. Hopefully people get up early and watch that on Sunday morning. I certainly am. I'll probably get up 8:30 so I could eat breakfast and just make sure I'm up. You know what I mean? Before because in the morning you get up, we're not fully you know what I mean? That's how it is, but I want to be ready for that game. So, all right. I hope everybody enjoys the week. Skol Vikes, and see you next week.